Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
Kayak Bass Nation is presented by Dugout Bait and Tackle. Go to dugoutfishing.com to find everything you need for your next kayak bass fishing tournament.
Hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego.
Also sponsored by Revo Sunglasses. Go to revo.com, use code KBN25 to save 25% off your next order. Revo, best lenses on earth. Also sponsored by Western Sun Vodka. Go to westernsundistillery.com and use the bottle finder to find a bottle near you.
Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to another KBN Live. Ryan and I are both fighting off some sort of superbug, I think. But
You said welcome to another KBN Live.
Yeah, we're rallying for the people. Anyway, Ryan.
Something like that, man. I took me about a 2-hour nap this afternoon trying to perk back up.
Yeah. So we fighting it off, but we got a great show tonight. Of course, we got Justin Patrick, fresh off a huge win over in Lake Chickamauga. One of the first guys that's gone wire to wire and then done it in such an impressive fashion in a while. So it's going to be cool to talk to him about what went down over there.
He definitely did some dirty things on Chickamauga. I knew, like, going in, everybody was like, what do you think it's going to take to win? I said, man, I really feel like, 97 and a half a day. He blew that out of the water. I mean, he freaking smoked him. I can't wait to hear exactly how he did it and then feel even worse about myself. So.
Yeah, man. Usually these 2-day tournaments, it's like somebody will put up a good limit on day 2, but a lot of times it's just consistency for 2 days. He put up a great day 1 and then, upsized on day 2 went over 100 inches.
The trick was, and this is what I thought going into the tournament, I felt like if you could find something offshore, not beating the banks, that was the key to having 2 really consistent days to put up big limits. I felt like the shallow stuff, you may bump into 1 or 2 big fish a day. That's pretty typical. I didn't think there was a 200-inch possibility shallow. I didn't think you could cover that much water. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Some of my Old Town guys were there, and one of them talked about how he caught 60 fish on I think it was a goat toads or a horny toad or something. But he had to keep catching them to get to the larger fish because there were so many small fish up shallow. So, but we'll get into all that. Of course, before we get going and recap the weekend, we'll give a shout out to our sponsors. We appreciate Dugout Bait and Tackle, as always, the presenting sponsor of the show. They have got some more demo kayaks on sale, per Steve Owens. He sent me a message, said there's some more deals to be had, and they're not cracked. We're going to get into that.
I wish Steve-O would tell me that there was deals to be had. Steve just keeps me in the dark on this stuff.
Yeah. He sent me a little text a couple hours ago, so there you go. Hit up Dugout Bait and Tackle, get a hold of Steve, and he can get you in contact with them for some used demo boats that are still like new, used like new.
I'm going to take some right now.
Yeah, Western Sun Vodka, using them to get over these colds. Maybe that'll clear the poison out of our system. I don't know.
Replace it.
Hopefully so. And then Revo Sunglasses. Appreciate Revo, the best lenses on earth. Everyone that has touched a pair of Revos has fallen in love with them quick and kind of, pun intended, throw shade at their old sunglasses. So thanks, Revo, for sponsoring the show. Yeah, man, but let's get into the weekend first. Let's talk about yours. I mean, obviously, we had all eyes on Lambert.
It's gonna be a short damn story, Jeff.
Live scope Lambert over there for Chickamauga. So tell us what happened over there, man.
Dude, honestly, man, I had made my mind up that I just wanted to focus on the offshore deal because I really thought that was the best chance to win it. I ran the lake Sunday in my big boat and didn't see really any schools on the main ledge spots that I expected to. So I was like, okay, clearly that ain't happening. So holiday, didn't fish, hung out with the family, whatever. Tuesday, I had to work all week, so I tried to mix it up and get out, for a couple hours. It may have been middle of the day or afternoons. But when I got out, like I was finding these schools of fish back on more secondary stuff, whether it be creek channels or humps or whatever. There was so much current last week, it pushed a lot of those schools back off the main channel ledges. Well, I would live scope them, cast in a drop shot and catch like 18 and a half, 19 and 3/4, 21 and a quarter. I was like, dude, this is dumb. Like, this wasn't one spot. Like, I didn't go just beat up one school. There was like 5 different spots. I would just go in, scope them, hit them, and leave. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is insanely consistent on all these different areas. So when I got up Saturday morning, that's how I assumed it was going to be. I had found a mayfly hatch the afternoon before. On Friday, I took a conference call and pulled up in the shade, and when I did, mayflies fell out of trees everywhere. But there was like 12 guys that launched at the same ramp as me, and they all went toward that shallow stuff. And I was like, nah, my mind's made up. All daddy needs is this live scope and this drop shot, boy.
Old live scope Lambert.
Dude, I ran those humps like over and over and over again, and the fish were still there, but I could not get them to eat. I was catching a bunch of short fish. I think I busted a 15 off one, a 17 and a quarter off another one. And finally, I just got frustrated with that, and I moved to an area, a big community hole that I knew there would be good current. Went up there and caught a 17 and a half inch smallmouth, and then jumped to 17, and that was all she wrote, boys. I was done after that. Felt like shit. Went home, went to bed. We didn't have any kind of real wild times at the house on this one. I apologize for being a bit of a stick in the mud, but Sunday I didn't even want to get out of bed too early. I cleaned up the Airbnb and went out for about an hour, and I felt awful. There was some things inside me that didn't agree with my lifestyle, so I went on to the house. Congrats to the guys that cashed that. Congrats to Ethan Jett. He fishes a lot of our local stuff too. He came in second, rolled up on him. Super proud of the guy. He did really well in the Tennessee Hammers deal. I mean, Ethan's a great kid, and glad to see him cashing that big check. And of course, Christine rounded out that top 3 as well.
Hey, and how about Steve-O pushing up in that top 10?
Dude, Steve-O, son, he was all over the place, talking to him, before the tournament. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna go here. I want to go somewhere else, and I'll let everybody else fish in there, and then I'll go in there for a big fish later in the day. And I was like, do you hear the logic that you're saying right now? You're going to let 3 or 4 other people beat up your big fish spot and then go in there? I was like, dude, go in there, rub elbows and get dirty. Like, I mean, if you're going to try to win it, win it. And then he did. And then he went, he went in there and was smashing them up. Boy, I'm super proud of Steve. I wish he was fishing more of these events so he could slide into this TOC. He said he was 1 inch out. I think two spots total. Missed the TOC, but hopefully Steve will throw some on the schedule and get back to fishing, quit running all these tournaments.
Yeah, Steve can catch him. Just like old AJ, the TD himself. He can catch him if he was.
I remember a day when AJ could fish. I do.
Yeah, well, my weekend, man, I didn't have a tournament or anything, but I took my son. We actually went and floated the river for the first time in a long time. He's back home, back home from the Air Force. Put a paddle in my hand, dude, and just paddled, old school.
How'd that feel?
No electronics, no. It was awesome. It was fun. The river was still up for all the rain, so it was an easy float. We could go as fast or slow as we wanted to, just get off in the eddies, and we caught him up. Had a good time.
Is your boy gonna start fishing some with us?
Yeah, he's called me every day this week talking about how we're gonna get out on the road, and he wants to fish these big tournaments with me. And we're gonna go do this. So
come on with it. I'm glad you'll have somebody who can read the menu for you.
Yes, yeah, he can pay
it's
my
gonna
bills,
be awesome.
read my menus for me, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but he's also about to have a baby, so he's talking big.
Never mind, dog. Bad news.
He's talking big, so I don't know.
We'll catch you in about 5 years.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. But I had a blast on the river before this cold hit me the next day.
What else have we got going? You're obviously. I just want to congratulate you, Jeff, on sparking change in really getting the broom out and cleaning up kayak fishing there with your reaction video. That really rolled downhill quick, didn't it?
Yeah, that what's funny is that kind of just happened under the radar because no one on our KBN page even really realized that it happened. For those that don't know, I made a reaction video to the Gene Jensen victory, or what was a victory, on the KBF Pro Series from Laurel Lake a couple weeks ago. wasn't accusing Gene of anything. It was just kind of spotlighting the rule, like, hey, this rule's no good. Bank fishing and kayak tournaments, what's the deal? Well, lo and behold, they opened an investigation into did he fish legal water, not the bank fishing part, but was the bank fishing in legal water? Turns out it wasn't. So Chad did a live video, actually talked to Gene on there. Gene obviously did not do anything malicious. He freaking videoed it all and put it on his 500,000 person YouTube channel. So obviously, I think he thought he was okay after talking to the marina lady, but they DQ'd him, so he didn't win. Jimmy McClurkin's now the Pro Series winner, and I don't know who won the day 2.
So
trail.
you're telling me that verbal permission doesn't override posted no fishing signs?
That's right. Hey, posted buoys.
I'll be damned.
And I did go watch the video of Chad and him talking in the DQ, and in the video, they did say something about changing the bank fishing rule permanently. It needs to be rewritten.
For sure.
And I think Chad's quote, I don't want to get it wrong, but it was something to the effect of the way the rule was written was because that's how kayak fishing is. We're in shallow water, we wade, that kind of thing. But not everything that is the basis of kayak fishing belongs in competition kayak fishing. So I agree with that statement.
I think just the way you word it too. I mean, it's not like it wasn't for like, safety deal, like the water was too rough or the wind kicked up or whatever. Like if you dock on a private marina, then there's obviously something else going on.
So there we go. KB and DOJ got some rules maybe changing or at least being adjusted, and got Jimmy McClurkin some more money. It's another Tennessee guy.
I like it.
Of course, we got to touch on this real quick before we get Tim in here, Justin in here. We got to touch on Tim Brown.
Get out of here.
We're sick. We're sick, people. Give us a break here. We got colds. But Tim Brown today, the crack Toby deal. How much of that did you see, Ryan?
I woke up from my nap to catch up on that. Apparently the dude had a hull crack on his Hobie, gets a warranty hull, and what was he asking for it for the cracked one?
$3,800.
$3,800 for the cracked hull. My boy done got a free hull from Hobie, and he's about to turn around and gouge your eyeballs out for $3,800.
$3,800 OBO.
Take that, boys.
And it looked like multiple cracks. There was like cracks at different pinch points or weak points around the boat there. So it didn't go well for him. There was a lot of memes and questions underneath. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's real tricky. You got to be careful on stuff like that. That's like when you see one without a drive or a seat. Be real careful buying those too.
Every time I sell something on Facebook, I get asked if trades available. So maybe this one will actually work out into a trade. We'll trade for like a broken scuba tank or something.
No, that would be good.
Yeah.
Griff Garabrandt won Comanche and $5,000 out there in California, wherever there is, out there in California. So congrats on taking Comanche for the California Bass Nation.
And I think out there that 5K will equal 2 tanks of gas out there.
I don't know what percentage the state keeps out of that kayak winnings, but congratulations on that one for sure.
So yeah, Tim and Garrett and those guys continue to do big things with California Bass Nation, so good stuff out there. Last but not least, before we get our guest in, do we know what the deal was with Adam Fillmore's post today?
I know all about it.
What was he talking about?
100%. So there's a place on Chickamauga. It's a marina. It's private ramp marina. So if you don't have a slip at that marina, you can't use it, right? So locally, we all know that, and the only access ramps from it are like 4 miles away. So you got to really commit to that one to get there. So we had a local guy. He launches, busts his ass. He said he told me the story at the ramp, the local guy did. Tells me he averages 5 miles an hour going over there in a Hobie PA 360, which is rolling. Like, that's freaking churning butter. So he gets across the lake, gets back there, and there's Fillmore. and the young man apparently approached Fillmore with some hostility, like, you better read the rules. You can't launch here, blah, blah, blah. And Fillmore's like, bro, you better read the rules. He's like, you don't know where I launched. And the young man was like, you need to call AJ. And Fillmore's like, I ain't got a problem. You need to call AJ. So I guess somebody called AJ. Fillmore, this is how the story went. So they go back under this culvert, whatever. Fillmore is on the phone with AJ explaining where he launched and the research that he did on the launch and whatnot. And young Stunner comes over, casts in front of him, and busts like a 21 or something, just a giant fish while he's on the phone with AJ, just to already pour fuel on an existing fire. Ultimately, Fillmore was in the right. He did his research, found some public access on a roadside pull-off, lifted a PA-14 over a guardrail and slid it down a big-ass hill. I mean, he had to work for it. This wasn't anything easy, but ultimately there was no wrong that was done. You know, I mean, he checked the boxes. He read the rules, as you should. I mean, that's your responsibility as an angler. He did the right thing. So everything's good, but just make sure when you approach situations like that, and I posted on that thread today, like I had a situation like that at Eufaula. I asked the guy, hey, man, how'd you get back here so fast? Where'd you launch? He told me, so I just confirmed that his launch was legal. I mean, that's it. That's all you can do. Like, it's not your job to, like, kind of bully people or be rude or whatever. Like, you have to kind of approach these kind of things with open communication if you can.
Anyone get 2-piece?
Yes, Bobby, to your answer it was.
Anyone get 2-piece, Ryan?
No one got 2-piece. No.
All right. Good. Story ended good then.
Yep.
Okay. What do you say? Let's get Justin in here, the big winner.
Let's do it.
From Chickamauga. Let's change this background around. Bam! The champ is here. Justin
What's
Patrick.
up, fellas?
Yeah, welcome. As you can see,
man.
Justin's got the pro mic there because he is also a podcaster from the Lines In podcast over there.
Yeah,
So,
we do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready for tonight, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Man, I just want to say shout out to that dude who lifted that PA over that guardrail. That's
That's silly.
man.
That's what I thought. I was like, dude, that's nuts. I don't care what's back there. That's way
yeah.
too much. I would
Yeah.
cut the guardrail before I did all that.
Nah, I just would have found a different ramp. That's too much work for that.
Dig a trench through the garden.
Wow.
Yeah,
Are you married, Justin?
I am, man.
How does she feel about that mantle? All that, all that stuff on the mantle behind you.
She don't know about that yet.
Okay.
So
All right.
I just put that there just a few minutes ago. So.
Surprise, honey. I redecorated the house. I'm a pro now.
Oh, she's got a nice mantelpiece behind there and stuff.
He left the flowers up there to the left, so he's good.
Well, no, that's cute. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's my Lines In background too. We keep it real over here.
Keep with a motif.
Yeah,
So,
man.
Justin, tell us, number one, where are you from in Tennessee, and how much time have you spent on Chickamauga previously?
Yeah, so I'm from the Memphis area, kind of outskirts. You got some little smaller communities. So I'm in Bartlett, and Chickamauga. I've been there a couple of times. Once for a KBF event, and then the first Hobie BOS when it was like flooded like crazy.
Yeah.
So that's really the extent of my experience on Chick. I live, it's about an hour 45 from Pickwick, so I go there quite a bit. So as far as the Tennessee River goes, I've got quite a bit of experience on it.
Trying to get the screen shared from screen 2 over here.
I was going to give
There we
Jeff
go.
an opportunity to ask a question.
No, sorry. I was trying to get the screen.
He
up.
might not want to tonight. He's not
Yeah,
feeling well either.
No, I'm good. No, I wanted. You probably heard us before you came on, Justin. I got the screen share now. We were talking about the winners we've had on this year in the 2-day events. There's kind of a pattern there where a lot of times they don't ever lead day 1 or day 2 individually, but they put up a top 5 stringer both days and just stay consistent and get it done.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, you came in on day 1 with 97.5 inches. You were the day 1 leader. And not only did you stay consistent, but then you blow it out of the water on day 2 with 102.75 there, man, to put up 200 inches for the tournament. Unbelievable. Tell us, just number one, tell us what you found in practice leading up to that and what you felt like you were going to be able to do in the tournament.
Yeah. So honestly, I was really just kind of torn between whether or not I wanted to commit to the offshore deal. It's, it can be feast or famine, but also it's the first weekend of June.
We both on here. One of us is feast and the other one's famine.
That's the way it rolls, man. I mean, there's no guarantee with the ledge deal, but I mean, it's Chickamauga. It's the 1st of June. It's one of the most popular times to be on the Tennessee River. So, I mean, I haven't had a lot of good experiences on Chick with the local pressure. I mean, they will just straight up roll up on you. But that's just what you got to contend with. But I was my thought was, I was just going to cover a lot of water, scanning ledges and stuff in practice. So I got in on Wednesday, just started at the dam, looking at a little bit deeper stuff, and then just kind of worked my way up the river, and just really committed to it. My thought was, if I can't find them offshore, I'm pretty sure I can go and fish shallow or kind of that mid depth range, and scrounge together a limit both days. But what it really kind of came together the last hour and a half on Friday. I put it in my last spot, rolled out to an area, it was kind of a community hole, and got in there, and everything else that I was throwing at, the other fish that I was seeing were just kind of isolated. I wasn't really seeing a lot of big schools. I heard you say, Ryan, you had come across some the week before, but I just wasn't really seeing very much where I was looking. But so I rolled up out there and threw a drop shot, started catching a few, and hooked a 20-incher, came off. So then that was really like all I had, going into it. But what really kind of like sold me on the area is not so much just that spot, but the grass that I was seeing was just fresh green grass right there on the the river ledge, and all the other grass that I had seen on the main river area was just brown and dead. So that kind of got me excited. But that was really all I had going into Saturday, and then I really found my best spot during the day on Saturday. It was kind of weird. There was quite a few of us at the ramp, and we're all talking, like, hey, where are you going, this and that. And there was one guy who was specifically asking. I guess he wanted to make sure that we knew that he was going a little bit further down. But so he had fished around the area, but he never really got on the exact spot that I ended up in. And so after I caught a limit off my first spot, and actually the fish that I lost on Friday, I hooked it again, caught it on Saturday.
You put a tracker on it?
Man, I guess it had my number or something. It liked what I was throwing, but I can't say for sure, if it was the same fish, but it was when it jumped up on Friday, it was in that 5-pound range, and the one I hooked on Saturday was right there. But yeah, man, just filled out my limit, and then rolled down a ledge, just kind of looking for some bigger fish, just, trying to upgrade and stuff, and came across this ledge, threw up in there, and I didn't really scan it very much, just kind of threw in there, started getting bit, and it just unfolded from there.
Were you, I'm looking at these pictures Jeff's pulling up right now. Were you fishing like the main channel ledge stuff, or were you fishing like creek channel, like secondary ledge stuff? Like what was your magic to put this incredible stringer together?
Man, I really think the spot where I was at, it was just it was a creek channel, basically a big grass flat, and the creek channel was just winding through it, and it emptied out right into the main river. And it had just fresh green grass all around it, and that's a recipe for a lot of big fish to hang out there. But I think really, because I was nervous going into day two that it was gonna hold up. But on Saturday we had so much current rolling through, the wind was blowing the same direction. I think they just kind of hunkered down up in there, and it just kind of made it home for a few days. So Sunday when I got in there, they were in there, they were fired up, ready to eat, and until that sun came out, just kind of started dying off. But that was the ticket. A lot of the components kind of came together. It was big river, bend in the river, real close to the spawning ground. Big grass flat, tons of bait around, and just a perfect spot for them to hang out and feed up.
Let me ask you this, man, because had your stringer up on the screen there, obviously. I mean, you had 5 plus 7 on your Tourney X limit, which, you had 12 keepers at least. You probably caught more fish than that you didn't even bother taking a picture of. So you didn't exactly lay off the area, or did you? I mean, did you go back to the well on Sunday as well, the same spot, or did you have another area that you knew would be loaded, or did you just think this would reload and be set for you on Sunday also?
Well, actually, so on Saturday, I got a limit off the first spot, the spot that I had found in practice on Friday. Okay. And then, once I found the second spot, I culled out my 4 smaller fish and then I left it alone. Just kind of went around. I had caught about a 6-pounder flipping docks in practice on Thursday, and so there was a stretch of docks which was kind of my backup plan. But it didn't really have the right depth. It was only about 3-4 feet up underneath these docks, so I didn't really have any luck over there. So I decided to let it go on Saturday. Just I wasn't sure if it was going to hold up for 2 days, but I at least was going to try and make the right decision and lay off of them. And then Sunday, I was exhausted. Saturday, man. I had my alarm set for 3. The game plan was to get up to go to Waffle House and get to the ramp by about.
We'll get a sit-down breakfast on the way.
Awful.
That's right.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I accomplished that on Friday, so I was going to try to go for that on Saturday morning, but Sunday, I'm sorry. But slept in a little bit, woke up at 5, said a few words, got the stuff together, got in the truck, skipped the Waffle House, and got to the ramp like 5:45, and just wrong. And man, I was kind of conflicted on whether or not I wanted to start out at my first spot that I'd started on Saturday. But when I got out on the water, there was a bass boat already on it, so that just made up my mind. I was going straight to the juice, and probably a good thing that I did, because man, they bit really good for first hour and a half, and then that cloud cover went away, the sun came out, and they just kind of shut off.
You had, what was it, like 98 inches within the first little bit, though, right? I mean, you ran up there pretty quick on Sunday.
Yeah, it was right 98, 99. I think I had 198 inches by around 9 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was something. I mean, I probably, by the time I woke up, you already had 198 inches.
Justin took
like,
all the
shoot.
drama out. He took the drama out of the day.
Yeah, I probably would just rolled on out of there on that one.
I was still waking up myself.
That's ridiculous.
Somebody texted me and they're like, "Dude, you ought to just go back to the ramp, go get breakfast." So I was like, "Nah, this is chick, man." But it was tempting.
I mean, it's chick, but that's the thing. Like, if you on that, I felt like the deep bite was going to be, if you were going to have a shot at a high 100s 200-inch bag, it was going to be offshore, and you fully illustrated that point. Illustrated that point.
Yeah, it was a magic hole, man. That's for sure. I mean, I love fishing offshore. I mean, I love getting out on Pickwick and stuff. When Kentucky Lake was better. That's one of the big reasons why I got into a Hobie, was just so I could be fit. So I could fish offshore more efficiently and stuff. But you don't find holes like that very often, and it was really strange because nobody else came over there. No bass boats were rolling up. I mean, really, the pressure in my area was pretty low.
Did you have current on Saturday? So something that happened, I guess, Friday night is they raised the lake quite a bit, which means they shut off the outflow quite a bit on the lower end of the lake. I noticed as I was going under the bridge by the ramp I launched at, my rod tips were like hitting the bridge. I was like, oh shit, like that ain't good. It didn't register to me that the lake had came up, because I mean, my rod tips don't usually hit there. And I was like, whatever. I go on out, obviously don't catch a lot of fish there. I leave, move to my second spot. Well, the second spot has seawalls going out. Well, the water was over the seawalls, and I know that's not, like, you don't build seawalls under the water level. So I was like, shit, the lake's up 2 feet here. Luckily, that spot had current on it, but I was far enough up the lake to where you would still get current without, the lack of flow of the south end. Did you have current where you were?
Yeah, it was rolling pretty good on Saturday. I mean, I was on the pedals all day, coupled with the wind, especially once it picked up. And that's probably why I was so exhausted Saturday night, man. I was on it all day.
Like, I want to, and this is probably one of my biggest failures as an angler. I don't know how to look for shit like that coming at me, right? like if I would pay attention to all the and I really did try super hard to pay attention on this stuff. That's why I only pre-fished in the middle of the day when it would suck the most. Like, I thought if I could get big bites at that time, I was doing something right. I went to bed early. I re-spooled my shit. I retied my things. I was so organized. And I'm like, what have I missed now? And I feel like that's the one thing, and that's something that we even talked about the previous Monday, was how current affected every single thing on that river. And I did not even factor in the outflow. The only thing I looked at was the inflow from Watts Bar and that they were going to be running water. That's the only factor I looked at. I did not even think about how far south on the lake that I was trying to ledge fish. And I'm like, God dang, dude, come on. Like, just stop it. Stop hurting yourself.
I know, man. I've been telling this to people, like, there's just so much crap that you got to get together with kayak fishing. I mean, have yourself organized, I mean, just fishing in general, but kayak fishing specifically, because you got so much stuff you got to put on your boat, your crate, your rods, everything. Something's bound to slip through the cracks. I mean,
well, you can't fire up a 250 and run till you hit current, right? So by that point, I've hit 3 humps and the main channel ledge spot. I'm a good 5 hours into this endeavor here. Like, there's only so many minutes left at the point you realize that you've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
No, I'll say we got some comments coming in. We got one from YouTube, Chris Carnes. He said, gives y'all much respect. From Dayton to Patterson's to Chester, there was so much boat traffic, and Justin threw down anyway. Good job, sir. But you just said a minute ago you didn't have much pressure or traffic on your area. Why do you think no one figured that spot out? Is it just pure luck that they didn't figure it out, or what happened there? That seems bizarre on such a pressured fishery.
I know it was bizarre to me. Honestly, one of the reasons, like I said, I just was contemplating even doing the offshore deal. I was out at Chick for one of the first times, and I literally pedaled, like, it took me 30 minutes to get out to this main river bar. And I swear this guy waited until I was almost there, and he just took off and cut me off. So, I mean, it's stuff like that you got to take in consideration, because, like Lambert said, I mean, you can't put together a milk run out of a kayak. You don't have a 250 to crank up. And that's, when you see these elites and stuff, I mean, they've got everything strategically planned out when they think, the fish are going to fire on this specific spot and stuff like that. And they plan it out that way, so in kayak, you basically kind of have to get lucky and roll up on a honey hole. But I have no idea. I don't know why. It seemed like most of the boats that were coming up that direction, they were kind of more looking at some other stuff, but a lot of them were going up in the pockets, fishing shallow, and it was kind of beyond me how they didn't really roll up on me very much.
Anybody do the drive-by save a waypoint deal on you when you landed one?
Yeah. Well, Sunday, this old party barge, they just pulled up and just stopped right on top of it and set a waypoint and took off.
All right, yeah. I figured somebody, once they saw you pull a few in, might do that to you.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Yeah. Then here's another one, man. Chuck Smith said that's the difference between you and him. If he'd have caught a 6-pounder on a dock, he'd have been laying on docks all day. So what? Give the folks a key to not chasing. I don't want to call it a ghost fish, because obviously it was a good fish, but not chasing that ghost pattern from just catching one good one. How do you make that decision there?
I feel like with the on the Tennessee River, it's a lot different than other lakes that don't really have current. Like if I would have caught a 6-pounder on the dock on on a different lake, I can't think of one just off the top of my head, but somewhere that's not it's not a river system, I probably would have committed more to that. But on the Tennessee River, it's just in they're just wired to get out there. I mean, especially those big fish, they're lazy. They don't want to have to sit there and fight other fish off and stuff. And so I mean, they're going to get out there where it's comfortable. And but I mean, honestly, in this situation, getting to that, finding that last spot on Friday was kind of the decision maker. And I mean, I liked that the area also had those other docks and stuff. I mean, I didn't really know that it was really shallow under those docks at the time, but that was kind of my backup plan. Or if it didn't pan out there, I was gonna load up and go somewhere else, kind of more mid lake, and kind of go to where I was catching them on the docks.
Don't do that.
Man, when I rolled past Skull Island, that ramp over there, dude, every time I rolled by there, it was so packed.
So that was one of the areas that I had pre-fished, and there's been a school in front of Skull Island for a month now, like a good sized school. And when I was fishing it, one of the Cole Sands, he used to fish the college stuff. Now he just guides on the lake and fishes some of the FLW stuff now. But he pulls up with clients, and I'm sitting here retying. Like, I know the school's there. I don't have any, need to sit and pound them. And I watch them catch like 7 off of it, just bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to head on to a different spot. So, I go on down and catch a couple others again, complete community hole off the cooling towers, but it's like 18, 19 and a half, like good fish. I'm like, dude, this is good here. But Skull Island, I looked on Friday and there were like 15 kayaks launching out of there. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, it pisses me off. No offense to all you people. I love fishing with you, but I don't love fishing near that many people on tournament day, because it can literally be, the difference between 1 or 2 bites of you having a competitive stringer or just surviving. And I didn't feel like that was going to be the move myself.
Yeah, man, I'm the same. I would rather die, doing something completely different than everybody else than sit there and fight 20, 30 kayaks. That's just, that's insane. But, it's kind of bit me in the butt sometimes, because, it works out for some people.
Out of Skull Island, Dylan, he launched at Skull Island and he tried to get on some of the deeper stuff there. Caught a couple, didn't really pan out. So he there's the mayfly hatch going on, right? So he starts going shallow looking for these trees that are loaded with mayflies and fishing under them. And I think he had like 88 and a half or something like that on day one. Put together a pretty good limit just for scratching and clawing. Like, there was a shallow bite there, but again, I think he covered 6 or 8 pockets to put that limit together, which is probably 12 miles or so of running that lake. I mean, how much is it? How much is worth it to be in a 30th place limit for having to work that hard for it? I feel like, and I still stand by this, and thank God you proved the point, that offshore bite was the deal. Like, if you were going to win it, really win it, that offshore bite was the deal. I mean, and you said you were drop shotting. What's your favorite drop shot bait?
Yeah, that's a question from the Facebook. They've heard about the juice on the spot. What was the juice on that drop shot?
There you go. I knew it.
Man, it seemed to be kind of adopted by a few people that were in the top 19. But man, it was Morning Dawn Zoom trick worm. The dumbest thing, dude.
Super fancy.
I wish
but the water clarity was right for it. I mean, it was a little bit cleaner.
That's literally what I caught him on. Actually, mine was a Morning Dawn robo worm, to be specific. That was the whole pattern that I ran all week long. Like, this is I'm glad we had you on tonight.
Dude,
I'm gonna go sell all my shit. What was that dude's name? Tim what? I'm about to put my boat on with his 2-for-1 deal. Tim Brown, you come get
one
my
cracked,
stuff too.
one not cracked.
Well, yeah, you can have them both with a live scope. I ain't ever using that shit again.
Hey, so here's a question for you, man, from YouTube. Josh has asked it twice now. Joshua Hawks, if you had one bait for you to use in Chick, 24 hours, best 5 fish, what would it be?
Oh man, if you would have asked me this before this tournament, I would have said a jig.
Only one bag of worms.
Yeah, one bag. Man, yeah, probably. Honestly, summertime, probably an 8-inch bullworm striking. That's usually my summertime bait right there, dude. They kill that thing.
I like an old monster on a 1/2-ounce shaky. That one's tough to beat too in the good old summertime.
Yeah,
y'all explain the colors on these drop shots, because everybody knows Morning Dawn works just about everywhere, north, south, whatever, and Margarita Mutilator and some of those purples. Why? I mean, the drop shot colors are kind of out there compared to your typical soft plastics. People are throwing green pumpkin and watermelon red and all that, but the drop shots have all these purple hues and brighter colors. Why do you think that is? That color stands out on the drop shot.
I think honestly, it seems like, fish can, if they can feed in chocolate milk, they can feel that, real translucent or more lighter colored worm in cleaner water. I think it just looks more natural to them. Because I put on a green pumpkin Cinco and they wouldn't touch it. I don't know what it was, but the Morning Dawn, And I mean, and really, I mean, if you go by brand, every Morning Dawn is a little bit different. Because I had some of the Robo Worms too, and they kind of have like a little bit lighter belly. But this one, you know, the Zoom one was just a little bit more lighter, you know, of that color than some of the others. Some of them are more darker, like the Robo Worm is a little bit more darker. But I don't know, man. I can't explain it. I think they see so much of the same stuff. If you can get away with going more natural, you know, more lighter or translucent, you know, if they'll bite it, then stick with it.
I think it's standing out matters, and I think kind of that reddish hue to it is also something that triggers them to bite for some reason. I don't know if maybe like, you know, injured bait fish with like a little squirt, a little blood coming out there or something. There's got to be something to do with that purplish pink hue that triggers them. That's all I can think of. I haven't seen many pink bait fish in the Chickamauga. So
I put Jesse's comment up there. I like that his profile picture is still that fish he caught off the bank at Pickwick, at the house at Pickwick.
Because that's the best memory Jesse's got for a tournament was catching a fish in the wrong damn lake off the porch of the house. That's highlight reel.
Jesse, yeah, good man there. Well, he had a hell of a day too on Pickwick after he caught that bank fish. So yeah, maybe that was
something interesting I found when I was pre-fishing. I was throwing a Ned rig on the bottom and a Morning Dawn drop shot on the top. I was throwing a green pumpkin TRD on the bottom. I was catching all largemouth on the green pumpkin TRD and all smallmouth 10 inches above, however far 10 inches is, 10 inches above on the Morning Dawn. Just shut up, Jeff. On the Morning Dawn Robo Worm. And that's what I couldn't make sense out of, is why, you know, it had kind of separated the two subspecies on colors and
that's
water height there.
Yeah, that's weird.
Very weird. So any more questions you have for Justin, throw them in the comments, obviously. You know, it's an unbelievable tournament for you. And I messaged you, I think, way before the weigh-in saying, hey, you want to come on tomorrow night?
At 9:30, at 9:30, Joe was like, "Hey, you want to come on tomorrow night?"
And you said to me,
"Shit's over, cuz."
So, like, hey, you know, I didn't want to respond until I knew I had the trophy in my hands. But we act like it was a foregone conclusion. But I mean, did you really think the potential was there on Chick for someone to catch you, track you down that just didn't submit yet?
My man won by a whole extra fish, a whole extra citation class fish, and he's like, let me feel it out. I don't know.
I mean, did you know, or did you really think somebody could have chased you down with no signal, like pull a sandbag on you and catch you?
I mean, dude, you had just about everybody that is a hammer in the kayak community fishing this tournament, and I mean, I was looking at the leaderboard. I knew who had caught 90-inch bags the day before, so I mean, those were the ones that I was mainly focused on, and most of them were submitting fish, but the only one was was Christine. And I was like, man, I know she knows the river and stuff, and she's not submitting fish. Either she's had a terrible day or she's holding on to him or something. So, you know, but I mean, mathematically, it was going to take her like 109 inches to beat me, and you know, but you know, I mean, it's
not impossible, not impossible on Chick,
especially on Chick. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's got 10-pounders in it.
Yeah, we did see her do Jordan dirty on stage, and we thought he had it in the bag. So you never know. Could happen.
Yeah, it's unpredictable, man. So I was like, dude, you know, but you know, she walked up and she said, "Congrats, it's on the stage." So at that point, I knew. I was like, all right. But yeah, man, I wouldn't put it past anybody, especially on Chick or Gunnersville or Pickwick, to come up with some kind of big bag.
So how long were you sitting on 102? Did you, in your mind, start competing with yourself, like, all right, let's go get 105? I mean, did you have some time? There?
I bet I can beat him by 3 fish.
Yeah,
you're gonna catch me. No, yeah, man, I was at when I was at 198. I bet at that point I was really contemplating going back to the truck. I was exhausted and hungry, but I was would
have been a fair quitting point, I'd say.
It would have, but you know.
Been an ultimate flex, like
what
a
else am I gonna do?
selfie from Waffle House at like noon.
Sit in Chick-fil-A for 6 hours, you know,
cracking a tall boy. Woo! Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. No, I was having.
Did you
fun,
fish
man.
Chick in the state championship? What was it? 2 years ago?
No, I did not. Not that one. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering if you came out for that. I didn't hear you mention that when we talked about it earlier.
No, funny story. A guy from our club, Russell, he slept in too. Actually, got up after sleeping in late and went out to Waffle House, and then came out and wrecked them and got second.
Nice.
But you gotta give it to him. He's an older cat, so you can't blame him. But no, man. I sat on the spot for most of the day. I called out again, probably with 2 hours to go. Called out at 19 and a quarter with a 19 and a half, and that gave me that quarter.
Unbelievable. We're not going to keep you too long because obviously after 2-day tournaments, everybody's exhausted. I mean, you're sitting there, you're trying to hide that check from your wife. You got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But
he's gonna have that shit at the foot of their bed every morning when he wakes up. Just look right at that.
No, but first of all, like we said at the beginning, you got that mic there. You're a fellow podcaster. So tell us a little bit about your podcast, Lines Out, or Lines In. Sorry.
Yeah, man. So Lines In, yak fishing. We started it up. It's kind of a spinoff of my co-host. He was running a little show for his tackle shop, Primary Tackle. But he got into kayak fishing about a year and a half ago, and so we started talking about kayak stuff on his show. So we had the idea to start a kayak fishing podcast, and it kind of evolved to him stopping his other show and just us doing that. So we we do a lot of local stuff, but we branch out. We talk to people doing all these different kinds of things. We've talked to some guys. Red fishing down Louisiana. We recently were talking to the TWRA agent about the Bill Dance signature lakes that they got going on out here. So that's an interesting topic, man. He had the information he had was pretty cool.
How do you think that's gonna affect some of those little hidden gem trophy lakes that are out there in West Tennessee right now? Because now they're gonna be published on a map, well documented. How do you think that's going to affect the fishing pressure?
Yeah, Bill Dance signature lakes. Come catch them. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of my buddies fish out there all winter long and put up 30 bags, for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I can't help but think they're going to have a lot more company out there for this kind of stuff just because of, the name recognition now.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's probably been numerous online tournaments won out of some of these lakes.
Oh, guaranteed, for sure.
Yeah. But I don't know. With what they're talking, the amount of money that they're going to be investing
Huge.
into it, it's a lot. I mean, and they're pulling out the big equipment. Some stuff that they're doing for our local lake out here, Herb Parsons, is they're going to be bringing out some excavation equipment and changing out the structural, definition to it. So, which is good because it's got a lot of shallow water and stuff that the water will come down during the summer. It will just evaporate a lot and get real low. So they by digging it out and stuff like that, that'll kind of spread the fish out a lot more. But what you're seeing a lot though is a lot of these little trophy lakes they've been getting pounded, and I think a lot of people have been taking fish out of them and stuff, putting them in their little farm ponds or whatnot. Gibson County has been a really awesome lake, but it's kind of going downhill. So
Gibson County is a cool lake that's really overlooked. That's when they did what was that, the KBBBT championship up there at Reelfoot. They drove right past the best lake they should have fished out there as far as larger public lakes in West Tennessee. They should have pulled over and had it right there at Gibson County. That was the spot for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of like a little miniature Lake Fork. I mean, it's got a lot of
standing timber. Yeah, it's a cool looking place.
I mean, there's some toads in there, man.
Every state's got those little online tourney honey holes that end up just getting exposed and beat.
Dude, there's one out there close to where Justin lives. It's a sand pile hole basically, and it is stacked full of giants.
I don't get it.
Stupid full of. I mean, they're trying to grow the next state record. What I don't understand is how there's no structure or contour to the whole damn lake. Is what blows my mind. Like, there's nothing for those fish to hold to. So, since Live Scope came about, you basically just go out there, pick your fish out for the day, and chase him with a giant bait till he bites. I mean, it's crazy, but it happens. Full of double digits. I think they've shocked up. Is it 2 or 3 16-pounders out of that lake?
Yeah.
I mean, some true monsters.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of local clubs, local club tournaments out there, and I mean, it's one of those. On a good day, you pull 3 really good ones out, but on a typical day, you get one 24-incher and then a couple 16s. If you're lucky. So I mean, but like you said, I mean, it's like maybe 200, 300 acres. It's not very big, but
No, you can just about cast across it.
I know it takes the pressure and just keeps on going, man. I don't understand it.
Full of them F1 strains getting fed, boy. They're growing big, big. That's one thing that I hope that Bill Dance initiative does is drives them to grow the trophy bass population in more of these public waters. Like you see what Texas Parks and Wildlife has done with their fisheries out there with the share lunker program. I would love to see Tennessee take a similar approach. And we don't have the weather that Texas does. I get that. But we have a huge opportunity with the resources that we do have with these river systems to grow, great bass populations. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to if you can keep TVA from spraying everything. We should have some donkey factor. Not that the places we have, mentioning Pickwick and Chickamauga and Gunnersville, those are great, but they could be so much better. I mean, 30 bags huge, but they could be cranking out 40 bag plus, 5 or 6 times a year.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, I really like the program they got out there in Texas. That's unreal. So I don't know if TWRA is up for the task, if they want to commit to that or not. It seems like, and I'm not talking bad about them because they do a heck of a job, but it seems like they kind of roll
check
in
your license at
once
every
things
ramp
gets bad.
now if you say something bad about them.
Yeah.
That's the Hobie champ. That's Justin Patrick. Get
He's
him.
got the money. Let's ticket that man.
That's right. Give him a ticket.
A couple more
day
questions. One
expired.
from Facebook and then one from me. We'll go with the Facebook one first.
Sure.
Josh Evans asks, "Are you fishing Winnipesaukee?" Ryan always asks this too. Like, once somebody wins one, are we going to pop off and go ahead and chase that AOY since it's best 3?
No, I'm not doing the northern swing.
He said, nah, hell no. I came out here and took that money and ran. Don't blow it on the road, Justin. That's great advice.
Yeah, I got other plans for that, but no, I hadn't committed to the northern swing. I'll be at Dardanelle. My plan for the Hobie BOS was if I didn't make it happen in the southern swing at Dardanelle, then it ain't happening. So, but I'm excited to be going to that TOC, man. That's a special event.
Okay. Have you fished Dardanelle before, Justin? Did you come last year?
Yeah, I took 5th place there 2 years ago. The first year they had it there,
And it was in the fall then. Sort of. It was like in August or September.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, it was later in the year.
Yeah. So it's set up good for you. I was going to say it's a river system lake, so you should be comfortable there. And then my question, there was a couple threads on the group page this week about live scope. Mark Springer started them both, I think. His last one was if you're not scoping, you're hoping. So I'd be remiss
Mark,
if I didn't ask you.
Started all these threads because he ain't got live scope in his living room.
Yeah, as Luke Arian said, the poors that don't have live scope. But did live scope play for you at all in this?
No, it didn't. That's a topic I always like to talk about on Lines In. It's interesting, man. You hear conflicting stories. Some guys are saying, or they're reporting that they're running their fish off with live scope. It's pinging them right in the face. So I mean, there's you can still get out there and win with 2D and Clearview guys. I mean, they've been doing it for years. So
see there's another winner with no live scope. We've had a couple up in the shallows with no live scope paddling. We've got this one right here. Did you? I mean, I'm assuming side scan, down scan, whatever to find your grass. But other than that,
yeah. Man, most of the grass was pretty subsurface in some of the areas on the flat. I mean, you could see it plain as day. So, I mean, it was tall and healthy.
I don't think I have ever cashed a check running a graph. Now that I think about it, nope, I didn't. I didn't cash a check in that because I got a speeding ticket and missed weighing. So I'm taking that shit off my boat.
It's for sale.
PM. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop some juice for some guys about the ledge deal, man. The ledge thing. I don't always trust my graph. I don't always just look for fish. Sometimes I'm just looking for the bottom composition, content, with stumps and rocks and stuff like that. And then if it has bait around it, not just shad, but bluegill and stuff like that. If you got a lot of action going on on that ledge. Even if you don't really see a lot of fish on it, man, still throw down there. I mean, I do a lot of ledge fishing at, during the winter on Pickwick and stuff. And a lot of times, they're not schooled up like that. So, you just fish a ledge with a Ned rig or, whatever you want to throw. And, I mean, oftentimes you'll catch one.
I like it. Jesse said he'll give you $5 for the scope, Ryan.
You got it, Jesse. Come pick it up.
$5 in the case of bush light. It's all yours.
Oh, Jesse. I still got some moonshine left, Jesse. Swing on by. We'll get after it.
Oh, man. Yeah, what else we got for this man tonight, Ryan? I know both of us probably need to go start an IV of something.
I got to go. I got to get up and go to a meeting in the morning like a big boy.
Yeah.
Since I ain't making any money fishing, I'm going to have to go back to work, it looks like. Justin can retire for a week or two there.
Shoot, I was back at work this morning, man.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you have left on your schedule outside of Dardanelle? Are you fishing your local club stuff? You gonna make it to state? See you at Kentucky Lake?
No, I haven't been.
Nope. Yeah, you're a boring guest, Justin. Do you fish anything else? No, not really. No plans for us to see you.
Well, I usually fish the club a lot, but I just haven't really been fishing with them much this year. Whatever they got left on the rest of the schedule, I'm going to try to fish some of it. But no, the Tennessee Bass Nation, the Bassmaster Opens, and then the Hobie was kind of my schedule for this year. So I think Douglas is coming up on the Tennessee Bass Nation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I might do that. Then they got the championship. That's on Chick too, isn't it?
It is on Chick, Justin. Ironically enough, yeah.
Yeah. But so that TOC, just a few other tournaments. But I mean, dude, the way the schedules have lined up, I mean, it's been so hot and heavy the first of the year.
Dude,
the next couple of months
this has been a nuts schedule, and I love that there's so many options and so many things to do. But I try myself, I want to participate in everything, right? I want to support the Hobie series because I honestly feel like, looking at that check behind you, that's the biggest thing we have going. The Bass Nation stuff, I want to see it take off because I feel like that could be its own mid-range deal with a, good championship. And then our local stuff, like I want to continue to fish the local stuff because I have great relationships and really good times with these local guys. So it's hard to I don't want to fish every weekend. That's not a joke at all. I mean, you have to find some kind of balance somewhere. You can't just keep your stuff on a trailer and gas in the truck and run all the time. So yeah, I like that there's the options. I don't like that there's so many sacrifices involved trying to do it all.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tournaments this year scheduled on top of each other, or like back-to-back weeks. So it's kind of
And that's what I'm saying is if I just supported my core group of 10 people, then there's 17 overlapping tournaments. There's so much much stuff going on that it's almost impossible now to be able just to go out and make everybody happy, I guess.
I'd say it's to the point of your bass boat circuits to where if you're a guy with a bass boat that wants to fish tournaments, you can fish almost every single day, but definitely every single weekend with club tournaments and jackpots and everything else. And it's gotten to be that way in kayak fishing. I mean, you find a tournament to get to every single weekend.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like you have to balance that out. Like you don't want to get burnt out on it or else you're going to lose that. I don't want to say competitive edge or whatever, but that's you're not as hungry. Happens, right? Like if you you get burnt out. Is that what happened, Jeff?
That's what happened.
Jeff got burnt out. No, he's not competitive.
Or I got old. I don't know. Maybe both.
No, we'll say burnout.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, man. Somebody could definitely go on the road full time if they wanted to right now with kayak fishing. So.
Yeah. And at least participate in the events. They may not make any money, but they could go on the road with it for sure.
You can sign up and pay your money. That's for sure.
They'll let you every time.
Dang right.
Yeah. No.
Well, Justin, man, congrats again. Thank you for taking the time after a long weekend to visit with us, and thanks for putting on a show this weekend. It was fun to watch from afar.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I'm still registering it. So, but thank you guys for having me on, man. I've enjoyed it.
You bet. All right.
I'm gonna try. I may try to jump in New Hampshire. I don't know. I gotta pull an audible here. I got Susky and Dardanelle for sure on the schedule. I may have to jump in New Hampshire. I think Hobie World's probably going to conflict with Wolf and Fox. So I don't know, man. I'm going to try to see you down there in the swamp, Justin. I know a great little spot at Shreveport. I think the Hustler something or other. Anyway,
Sounds
take you
interesting.
out to a nice steak dinner if I could get down there.
Oh, man.
Sounds like I might need to bring my 9 to that one.
Yeah, you need to turn your location off too.
That sounds
Don't
like
be
a
running
Memphis
Live
spot.
360 when we get down there.
Oh, man. Wild stuff. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for watching YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere else you caught this. We'll wrap it up. We'll round up another guest for next week.
We will, I think.
I think, if we're not off the airways. But anyway, everybody have a good night.
Take it easy, guys.